Hello, and welcome to the FM podcast. I'm Jen Fritz, and I run Fritz Media, a music publicity and digital marketing firm located in Vancouver, Canada. And this is episode number 29 of the podcast. So the topic of this week's show is globalization and collaboration in the music industry. And joining me on the show is Teon Gibbs. Now, Teon is a rapper and producer based in Vancouver, and he's quickly becoming one of the most recognizable and influential voices in Western Canada. Born in Botswana, Teon has lived all over the globe before he settled here in Vancouver, and he's been involved in production, sessional musician work, songwriting, and engineering for almost 10 years. Teon recently released a collab EP with IAMTHELIVING, who's a musician from South London, who's also now based in Vancouver. So I thought he would be a really great person to talk to about globalization and collaboration. We had a great chat, and I hope you enjoy it. Here's my conversation with Teon Gibbs. Well, hello, Teon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm okay. You were just saying that you were driving back from Kelowna. How was that?
Yeah, a bit hectic. The roads there. You gotta go do the number 3, the Crow's Nest. So I was like,
oh, the hectic. 3. You can't do the Coke.
Still too much damage, I guess, from like the events of November. So.
Oh yeah. Oh well, it's still a nice drive. That's a nice drive. It's all right.
Yeah, it's a nice drive. You're just behind a lot of semis, and it's a little stressful. But other than that, it's
yeah, it is. That's true. Actually, not a lot of passing time, right?
No.
Well, it's nice to finally meet you, even though if it's not in real life. I guess this will have to do for now. I've been hearing a lot about you from all of my music industry friends and colleagues over the past couple of years. It's nice to finally be able to, sit down and get to know you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, that's probably a good place for us to start just to get things going. Why don't you tell us just a little bit about your music background and how you came to be this up and coming Vancouver rapper and producer that you are now?
Yeah, I'm originally from Botswana. I moved to Canada in 2010, and like music was kind of like what I did because we moved around a lot. So we'd live in like every 3 or 4 years, we'd be in a different country. So music was kind of my way of like bridging the gap when I would go to a different country, like how I made friends, how I connected with people. And eventually it kind of became something that I decided to start creating my own music for, 1, therapeutic reasons, but 2, just like, it's cool to connect with people about other artists, but having my own music was also just like a great way to like, build community around me. So I really started doing that. And when I was pretty young, like 13 or 14, I was kind of, writing little freestyles or, learning to play guitar and that kind of stuff. And then eventually when it came to Canada, I was like, I want to do this a little bit more professionally. And I went to like an audio school and I learned how to record and that kind of stuff. And then, it's just been a long, steady grind ever since then. So probably in like 2015, 2016 is when I became Teon Gibbs, the artist, as opposed to the guy behind the scenes.
Right.
And I've just been kind of, maintaining the same kind of output and energy and slowly building my brand.
Nice. So the topic of our show this week is globalization and collaboration. And I thought you'd be a good person to talk to about this just based on your new EP, Jungle, that you made with South London soul singer IAMTHELIVING. You're, originally from Botswana, living in Vancouver. He's from the UK, now living in Vancouver. And you guys get together and you collaborate on some music. And what you get is an EP. How did the idea for that come about for you?
It came pretty organically, to be honest with you. Like I actually lived in South London as well for 4 years when we were growing up. So
cool.
We connected on we connected on a lot of things, just like different places we've been to, like things that we've seen, experiences we've had in the UK. And we kind of started putting those into songs a little bit. And we even had like the homage to like UK garage, on our song Distance. And eventually it was just like, well, concrete jungle. I'm from like a place that actually has a real jungle. And it was just like called the EP Jungle. And We just phonetically dropped the vowels in it just because we wanted to be trendy,
Of
and then
course.
that's how it all just happened organically. It was just like through conversation. It was just like, yo, we should just call the thing jungle, and then that's kind of what happened.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I do like that idea. And yeah, you can definitely feel like the garage jungle vibe on a lot of the EP. So it's such a cool idea. So, coming back to our globalization in the music industry, in the past, only richer countries, such as Canada, United States, and the UK were able to distribute their music across the world. Now, with the internet and other tech, people can share their music across the globe without being in a rich country or, without a record label. How do you see this sort of globalization shaping the music industry over the next few years?
It's really interesting because on the one hand, it's so exciting to be an independent artist in these times, but it's also a lot more like challenging and competitive because everyone can find ways and resources to release and put music out. A lot of it is kind of algorithm based, and interestingly enough, a lot of those algorithms are owned by North American or European countries.
Mm-hmm.
So there is still a certain degree of like you got to kind of play the Western like globalization game a little bit in order to make your music palpable and translate well to be successful. There still is systems in place, but as things change and they continue to change in the way they are going to, I just see a lot more opportunity. And it's like, even looking at the rise of artists like WizKid or like Burna Boy, like being such prominent figures right now in the music industry and like having such a huge brand, the fact that you could be a kid from Nigeria and you can do a world tour and you can come to Vancouver, BC and sell out shows in Vancouver. It shows a lot about like how the music industries are growing internationally. In like 10 years, I do think it's going to be the most exciting time in the music industry where you can really just develop an online brand and it's a free for all essentially. So, but there still is like I said, there's still a systems in place that like you kind of do have to play the game. And I can go to DistroKid and I can put my song up and it can do something, or I can go to a record label and distribute my song through a record label, and they'll have a lot more avenues still to, I guess, push a button on a song and make it do a lot more. So it really just depends on like how hard you're willing to work and how good you are at networking. And but it's the fact that we can even have those conversations now, it's incredible because 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that's just, you needed a record label.
Yeah, it wasn't possible there. Yeah, but you are right. There still is, a barrier to access. Of course, you can theoretically do it all on your own, but it is still hard to do what the labels do. It's easier for them to get their artists on, big editorial playlists, a little bit harder for independent artists.
I think I read a statistic that like 85% of all songs that are placed on editorial playlists come from major label artists still. So
yeah,
that other like 15% and all these little indie artists like myself are all fighting for that. So it gets really tricky.
It is hard. I know. I have to explain that to our clients all the time too. The amount of artists that are fighting for those spots, especially like for the Spotify Canada playlists, it's quite a few. So it's really hard to get on those lists, which is just kind of the way it is, and kind of leads into this sort of side of it. Globalization for the music industry allows for people to hear music from all over the world, allows for artists to put music in countries that, they wouldn't have been able to 10 years ago even. It all seems well and good, but of course there are downsides. Like, for example, you kind of touched on this, maybe there's an oversaturation of artists and content, that's kind of a downside. Can you think, of maybe any other downsides like that?
I think it's a lot of infrastructure stuff too that I think you can see the downside of things. Dependent on your country. Like it's just, I look at a lot of indie artists right now and I'm like, we rely basically on like the Apples and the Spotifys, they essentially are like the new record label to a degree, right? So if you're performing well with them, great. But if you're not, does the place you live necessarily have the infrastructure built up over years that a place like, like an LA would, or like a Chicago or New York, or even to an extent now, Toronto? Even being in Vancouver, like outside of releasing songs on Spotify and making hip hop music here, Yeah, there's not a lot of avenues really to promote yourself because the demographics aren't there, the infrastructure. There's no like if I want a manager here that can help me accelerate my career, it's really hard for me to find someone or meet someone, let alone meet someone who's actually a good fit. So
Yeah.
I think that's like the downside right now with globalization is that yes, it is great that we have opportunities to hear people and discover people from other places, but in those certain countries or certain cities around the world, like are they developed enough to maintain their own local industry so that artists who are, if you're from, I don't know, if you're from Algeria and you have a few great records, like, are you being supported? Are you able to tour? Do you have to go somewhere else to tour? And it's just like streaming is just one source of revenue, but it's a pretty small source of revenue.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Yeah.
That is a really interesting point, actually, that I hadn't quite thought about. I hadn't thought about it that way, like in terms of your community here where you live. Yeah, where is that infrastructure? That's a super interesting point. And like the other side of it is with all of this technology, artists are also able to collaborate with other, musicians and producers anywhere in the world. We've definitely seen many examples of that during the pandemic, people making music together, even though they're not in the same city or even the same country. Do you think we'll be seeing more of that in the future? And what are your thoughts on that kind of collaboration?
Absolutely. I think if the music makes sense, and you're an artist that can complement another artist from a different country, if it makes sense, we're going to see a lot more of that. I have a really cool story actually that just happened last year, February 2020. This artist named Karun from Kenya, she came to Vancouver, and we were both speakers at the African Business Conference at UBC,
Mm-hmm.
and we were speaking about entertainment industry, actually about globalization and about how the like Afrobeat and Afro pop music industries are growing, and like how little control or ownership there is actually from African countries. Different conversation, but she came here, and then we came to my little studio. We recorded a song. It's called That Nana with another friend from Boston, actually, who was speaking at the conference too. And the song's great. I love the track. And, that was a year ago. It had its little moment, and then it kind of went under the radar. And just recently, she's just been awarded a This Is Karun's Spotify playlist. So as her brand has grown, now Spotify's given her own playlist, and like it's given us that song like new life. And it's just cool because it's like that was a really great collaboration that made a lot of sense for everyone involved. Like now it has like a new life to it. So I think for more artists, like if the music makes sense and you guys can make a great song together, we'll see a lot more collaboration with people from other sides of the world,
Yeah.
and it's just smart. You know what I mean? Like, why can't Teon Gibbs work with someone in Mumbai and make a song together? Like,
Totally. No, it definitely makes sense. I wonder though, like as an artist, how that collaboration differs from being collaborating with somebody in Vancouver and being in the same room with them. Like what's the collaboration experience like? What's the difference?
I mean, I think always being in the same room will always be the better option as far as chemistry and vibe wise, and even just body language. If I was to write a lyric and like I could see someone was like on the fence of it, just from the way their body was, I'd ask them to can you have a better line for me, and they'd probably give me one, and then like you make the song better that way.
Yeah.
So not having that option is like obviously tricky because you're just mailing things in, and then things get lost in translation, whether you're just going back and forth by email. So there is a lot of it that it can be lost, just like the magic of it. But at the same time, the world's your oyster now. So
Yeah, it's true, right?
it's
It
like,
is. I mean, obviously, in person's always the best, right?
yeah,
Always.
yeah,
I know, even like doing the podcast, like this is great, but it would be a different interview if we were in the same room,
for sure.
right? So,
Absolutely.
but you know what? Just not possible at this point in time. So, kind of just wrapping things up a little bit here. I'm wondering if you can, maybe tell us just a little bit about what you have coming up in 2022. You have any big plans? Anything you can tell us about?
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to quickly add to the globalization piece. I think it's really cool that you could be an artist from Vancouver and you can have, for example, African heritage, and you can decide, hey, I want to make Afrobeat because that's who I am. And with Spotify and that kind of stuff, you can still do well in other countries.
Yeah.
There kind of is like the other side of it. But yeah, as far as like what I've got going on, I am currently working on an album. It's going to be executive produced by Chin and Jetty.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. So Chin and Jetty, for those who don't know who he is, from Bass's Bass, originally from Toronto. He actually lives out here in Vancouver now, and we're working on a great little album that we've just been trucking away at for about 8 months now, maybe a year.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting ready to start rolling out the first couple singles for that in, like, I'm gonna say February or March, just depending on.
Ooh, coming up.
Yeah, yeah, that is like my what I've really been working hard on and not telling people about all year. So that's coming up.
Nice. Is that another independent release for you?
As of this moment, it is an
Yeah. As of right now, Jen, yes, but we'll see what happens.
yeah. Honestly, like, I've never even been in a position to have those conversations, honestly. So obviously working with Chin, kind of like people who are in the music industry, like, they know who he is. So now there's an interest in that. But also, like, just doing things like Jungle and growing my own brand, like, it helps those conversations happen. So in my mind's eye, if we can just find some money and some proper funding and promote it ourselves, that would be the perfect situation. But I am willing to listen to anyone who has anything to say that could help.
You heard it here first, people.
I heard it here first.
You've collaborated with Chin in the past, right? Like,
Yeah.
was there a single or something that came out this year?
Yeah, we did a song called "For the Love of Life" together, and he just like called me out of the blues and was like, "Hey, I got this song. It's called "For the Love of Life." It was actually, he called me like May of 2020, and then we recorded the song, and then it didn't come out until about a year ago now.
Yeah, tale as old as time. That one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then it was nice working with him. We collaborate really well. We're really honest with one another, so that's really good. And then we're just like, hey, let's just work on a full project. And that's what we're doing. That's what we've been doing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it. I'm excited. I mean, I don't want to press you because I know it's a new thing, but is there maybe like a certain vibe to the album or something that you could give us a hint of?
At the end of the day, I'm a rapper, so I am gonna rap on it. But we're trying our best to make sure it sounds fresh
Mm-hmm.
and sounds like our own creation, and it has its own energy to it. Emulation is really great, I think, but like all my favorite albums, they're cutting edge.
Mm-hmm.
They sound like their own album. So it's a risk we're taking, but it's a risk that I'm glad to take. That it's like nothing else is really going to sound like it, especially in the hip hop world. So, and I mean, it's Chin. He's a genius. He's a little musical genius in there. So
Oh, yeah.
it'll be great to work with him and get these songs finally out.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear it. I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's probably a good time for us to head on over to our fresh content segment. Every week on the show, we discuss our favorite piece of music content for the week, and we always like to start with the guest. So, Teon, what do you got for us?
I have been listening to this song on repeat. They're actually from a Vancouver band named Dassy, and their latest single called Bitter is really, really cool. So that is what I've been listening to in repeat all week. So I would definitely recommend everyone go check that one out.
Okay, what's it sound like? What's the what genre? What are we talking about? Give us a little bit.
I'm gonna say it's alternative R&B.
Mm-hmm.
They started to introduce like a little bit more synths into their music. Dassy's got a great voice, great tone, really cool pitch, and it's super musical too. Like a lot of her band are like they're just like music nerds, so they're gonna play it really well. But yeah, alternative R&B is what it falls into. It's pretty easy listening. Great for car rides, great for just like having friends over. Sorry, Bonnie. That you can just like, have something playing in the background.
Oh, I love it. That sounds great. I'll definitely check that out. So my fresh content for the week is kind of a bit of a weird one, but I've been watching this new Showtime show called Yellow Jackets. Have you seen it?
I've heard about it. I haven't seen it though. It sounds like it's really cool though.
Yeah, it is actually really cool. The TV show takes place in the 90s, so the music is kind of right up my alley, right in my wheelhouse. It's got like total mid-90s slacker vibe, sort of music like Liz Phair, Hole, Smashing Pumpkins, that sort of thing. Also had some great like pop stuff from that time, from like Salt and Peppa and even Marky Mark, which is, whatever.
Yeah. Christina Ricci's in it, right?
Yeah. Christina Ricci
Yeah.
and Juliette Lewis is in it too.
That looks really good. I need to check it out.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, I recommend checking out the show. And also, as with any TV show these days, there's a Spotify playlist with all of the music from the show. So I will definitely link to that and to your fresh content pick as well in our show notes.
Cool.
Yeah, if you want to watch a show, it's on Crave in Canada. So very easy to find. All right. Well, thanks again for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you taking the time.
I appreciate you for me. Thank you.
Anything else that you'd like to plug before we get off here?
You know what? I have a company called the 100 Collective.
Mm-hmm.
We do showcases and build artist profiles. So if anyone is, local to Vancouver and they want to discover some new Vancouver talent, or you just want to hear some fresh music you never heard before, check out at the 100 Collective and you'll see some peeps there.
Awesome. We'll link to that in the show notes as well. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thanks so much, Jen. You take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was such a great chat. I hope you liked it. And thanks again to Teon for coming on the show. Thanks so much for listening to the FM podcast. If you like the show, please tell your friends and give us a rating and review in Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcasts. The FM podcast is produced by Fritz Media with production assistance from Carla J. If you want to learn more about Fritz Media, check out our website at fritzmedia.ca. And you can follow us on Facebook, we're at Fritz Media, and on Instagram and Twitter at Fritz_media. And if you want to learn more about the podcast, go to the fmpodcast.com. A big thank you to Said the Whale for providing the theme music for the show, and you can find them at saidthewhale.com. Okay, so we're going to go out with our song of the week this week, which is a song, of course, from Teon Gibbs. This is a song from his EP with I Am the Living. This is Papa.
Just want you over here. I can feel it. You're on the fence. Let's get on the dance floor. Give us a chance. I can tell this ain't your first time. Yeah. Can't get off of your high. Yeah. Would you take me all night? 'Cause I can see you locked in that vibe, girl. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Tell me, can you feel it? Yeah. 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 Tell me, can you feel it? Yeah. I might show for a better view, and I had to get it poppin' with 100 crew. Yeah, the best things always coming too. So if your girl done a roll, I know what it do. Yeah, 10 toes, I can way down. Late nights, got 'em watching like a stakeout. Cause she love the way I lay down. Make so many plays, got these other niggas played out. I got the shorty that tell me she want me. She down for the cousin, we rockin' all night. She got that body that wet like the sunny. And when she talk nasty, she say what I like. I stretch that thing out like it's Cirque du Soleil. She want a man that can make his own way. She know I got it, I came from the bottom. And I've been that nigga since minimum wage. I can tell this ain't your first time. Yeah. Can't get off of your high. Yeah. Would you take me all night? Would you take me all night? 'Cause I can see you locked in that vibe, girl. Oh hey. Oh yeah. silence is pimpin' nice call. Yeah. Run up the numbers, I'm breaking the call. The realer the feeling, the deeper the soul. Yeah. A king in the Cooper, that's word upon roll. Word upon roll.
Bye. I'll see you next Tuesday.